Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, so it's time for another franchise ranking video today, guys. Today I want to rank another sub-franchise in the MCU, being the Iron Man trilogy, from best to worst in my personal opinion. So yeah, so this is all three films ranked. If you guys disagree with me, that's fine, it's your opinion, which I'm not going to disrespect or challenge, because it's your opinion, but please respect my opinion. Okay, so starting with my number one all-time favourite Iron Man movie, which I absolutely adore the most, is definitely Iron Man 1 from 2008, the first Iron Man movie and the start of the MCU. And I gotta give it 10 out of 10, absolutely. 10 out of 10, because, you know, this movie was incredible. It really was. So, I mean, I literally have no problems at all with this movie, really. The acting by the entire cast was amazing. You know, I've got to give it to Robert Downey Jr. as my favourite Avenger, Iron Man. Like, his performance in this movie was brilliant, and I definitely also loved Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane, who later becomes, of course, the Ironmonger. And I definitely as well loved Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, absolutely, and also Jon Favreau, the movie's director, as Happy Hogan, definitely. So yeah, and definitely I've got to also give honourable mention to Sean Toob as Ho Yinsen. And I think Yinsen deserves a lot more credit, because without him, then Tony wouldn't have escaped the cave in his Mark 1 suit, would he? And he told him not to waste his life, and yet Tony did not waste his life at all. And that has a lot more meaning if you've watched Endgame, of course. And I loved, you know, the action. The action was incredible. The suit designs I also loved for Iron Man. They were great. Ironmonger was definitely a great villain. He's my favourite enemy of Iron Man in these movies, definitely. And this movie, you know, I love because it's the start of the MCU. And the music by, I think it was Ramin Djawadi, I think it is, the same guy who did Game of Thrones music, was great with his music in this. And I definitely really love a post-credit scene where Iron Man meets Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And it's pretty cool, you know, because prior to this movie, Nick Fury's likeness in the comics was based on that of Samuel L. Jackson. So yeah, it finally happened in live action, which is pretty cool. And, you know, how he said to him, he's here to talk about the Avengers Initiative, which of course sets up the whole MCU. And that was incredible. See, this movie was a very special place in my heart. It's actually my fourth favourite Marvel MCU movie after Endgame, Infinity War, and The Winter Soldier. My second favourite movie has to be Iron Man 2 from 2010. So yeah, and that's like 11 years ago. Wow. And so, this movie is okay, but it's nowhere near as good as the first movie for me, really. It's enjoyable to watch, but not really as good. So I give it 6.5 out of 10. So we're going with that movie. You know, the acting by the cast was great once again. I liked how we got introduced properly this time to Nick Fury in a bigger role. And definitely as well to Black Widow, played by the great Scarlett Johansson. You know, she's perfect for a role, she really is. And definitely as well, War Machine getting his armour. I was happy about it, because in the first movie we just got, you know, James Rhodes without his armour. And then in this movie he finally got it. And it was confusing how Terrence Howard got replaced by Don Cheadle, but Don Cheadle was definitely, you know, great in the role, and he's definitely my favourite War Machine now. He's so great in the role. The music was also great too as well, and the action was also pretty good as well. It was very good. And I definitely love the post-credit scene where it shows Thor's hammer in the ground. Like, that was a great setup towards, you know, the first Thor movie. However, the reason why I don't give this movie a 10 out of 10, I give it 6.5, is because I really did not like the villains in this movie, you know, Whiplash and Justin Hammer. Ian Woodward, played by Mickey Rourke, and Sam Rockwell, who were great as these characters. Their performances were amazing. I just didn't like them at all. Like, they were so forgettable and boring. I mean, as a fun fact, guys, when I saw this movie on TV, I actually fell asleep when I was watching one of those scenes. I had to be woken up by a relative, so yeah, pretty funny. So yeah, I'd either fast forward to the next scene or something when I see this movie, or just fall asleep. It just happens, really, because it was so boring. And plus, it was also really confusing how Whiplash was, his identity was like a mixture of both Whiplash and Crimson Dynamo. If you know this, guys, Crimson Dynamo is the equivalent of Iron Man in the Soviet Guards team. You know, the Soviet Union equivalent of the Avengers. He's equivalent of Iron Man, and I definitely love Crimson Dynamo. It was so confusing how Whiplash was a mixture of those two characters, though, really. So why don't you keep to his original name? Like, so weird. But nonetheless, because of the acting and the action, and introducing new characters, you know, Black Widow and Fury in particular, you know, this movie is great nonetheless because it introduces those. You know, it's okay to watch. It's not nowhere near as good as the first Iron Man movie, but it's okay. But I'll get on to my number one least favourite Iron Man movie, which is definitely Iron Man 3 from 2013. And I give this movie a 5 out of 10. So yeah. Now, going about this movie, I think probably the reason why I'd watch this movie is because of Robert Downey Jr. Despite not really liking this movie very much, I think he saved the movie as Iron Man. He was great in the role as always. I definitely as well, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper Potts was also great as well. Absolutely. And I love how as well she got to wear the Mark 42 outfit as a bit of a foreshadowing of her becoming Rescue in Endgame, which was pretty cool. And the post-credit scene with, you know, Bruce Banner was also pretty good as well. And the music was also pretty good too, as well. The action was okay. It was pretty good. And I liked as well the scene where Tony Stark is bonding with a guy called Harley, you know, that kid who he meets. I like their bonding. It was pretty good. However, what I dislike most about this movie is, once again, just like Iron Man 2, I did not like the villains in this movie, you know. This time, just like Iron Man 2, we had two villains being the Mandarin and also Aldrich Killian. But I did not like the Mandarin because he's not even Mandarin. He's just an actor called Trevor Slattery. What I let down that was, because when I saw the trailer and they introduced Mandarin played by the great Sir Ben Kingsley, I was excited. I couldn't wait to see him because he's one of the best villains in Marvel. And all he was just an English actor. Like, seriously. Why would you do that? But I do believe that the movie, I think it's called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, an upcoming MCU movie, is going to feature the real Mandarin, which I'm very happy about that. So yeah, thank God for that. And of course, it's with Aldrich Killian played by Guy Pearce, is a real Mandarin. But no, even he's not Mandarin either. He's Aldrich Killian, not the Mandarin. So yeah, I was so let down by the villains in this movie. They were terrible. I can't blame the actors. It's not their fault. It's just what they had to work with, which I did not like, really. Like, I don't know why they had to make him the Mandarin an actor. I was disappointed. I was so annoyed. And as well, guys, is it me? Or is this movie like a plot of The Incredibles rehashed? It is, isn't it? Because when you think about it, the antagonist of the movie is rejected by the hero, and he comes back later, doesn't he? Just like Syndrome in The Incredibles. So yeah, I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks it's because one of my favourite channels, How It Should Have Ended, acknowledged this in their How Iron Man 3 Should Have Ended video. And of course, my favourite YouTube, Empire Fan Productions, also thinks the same as well. So yeah, I'm not the only one. So this movie was basically The Incredibles in live action, pretty much. And you don't do that to a Marvel movie. You just don't. And as well, with regards to War Machine becoming the Iron Patriot, the design was okay. I didn't mind the design. It was pretty cool, but it's so forgettable because he doesn't become Iron Patriot ever again after this movie. Like, really? Like, why forget about Iron Patriot? Come on. And also, I also didn't like how Iron Man's suits were easily not real. You could easily tell the suit wasn't real. Like, why did they mess up the design like that? It looked great in the previous two movies, so why did they mess up in this movie? Come on. But, yeah, I give it 5 out of 10 because Robert Downey Jr. and Gwyneth Paltrow made the movie watchable. So, yeah. So, guys, that's my ranking of the Iron Man movies from best to worst, my personal opinion. So, yeah, number 1 is the first Iron Man film. Second is the second one, and third is the third one. So yeah, that's my ranking from best to worst in my opinion. So yeah. So guys, this is me doing my ranking of the Iron Man trilogy from best to worst in my personal opinion. So you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to leave in the comments how you guys would rank the Iron Man trilogy. I'd love to see how you guys would rank them. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for more videos coming in the future. And I love you 3000.